You should have acted. They're already here. The Elder Scrolls told of their return. Their defeat was merely a delay. Till the time after Oblivion opened. When the Sons of Skyrim would spill their own blood. But no one wanted to believe they even existed. And when the truth finally dawns, it dawns in fire. But there's one they fear. In their tongue, he is Dovahkiin, Dragonborn.
It's all winding down to just about the very end here when it comes to all the side jobs or small quests that I have been given just for Skyrim, and no, not addressing the Stormcloaks or anything on Solstheim. Which means finishing my new home at Lakeview Manor is coming up very shortly. I just have a few more running around to do quests in the Reach and Falkreath first, and then I will finish building what is left of my home. Furnishing it, well, that is another major quest, all on its own. One which I plan to get to after my home is finally completed. Work, work, work. If it's not building a home, it's riding my horse, delving into dungeons, and fighting. A lot of fighting. Occasionally I stop to fish, but I like to read books too, especially stories of others' adventures. Then there is Serana and I. We take time to spend together whenever we have the space to do so, which always ends in lovemaking, or begins with it, or it's somewhere in the middle, but yes, we are like rabbits together, whenever we can. Obviously not around our companions, but they are fully aware of the space we require. But when it comes to this new home I have built from its foundations up, I'm really looking forward to having it to return to once I am done with the Civil War, Alduin and Miraak over in Solstheim. Also, it would just be nice to return to a completed Lakeview Manor whenever I feel like it. It doesn't have to just be for the end of my journey as the Dragonborn. Something still surprised me while out adventuring. The last outing I had took me to Valthum, where I encountered Valdar, or his long-dead spirit at least, and he bade me help him defeat the sleeping evil there. It was a dragon priest named Hevnorak that he was keeping from leaving Valthum. Seems there are still evils out there in Skyrim, just waiting to be destroyed by heroes like me. Though by now, I should think I have dealt with most or all of them, and there would be few if any left. However, the real evil left is Alduin, of course, and he needs to be the focus of my wrath, as soon as I am able to get to him, since he left after our battle at the top of the throat of the world. There must be some way to get to him, but no one has given me answers as to how. The only idea is to trap a dragon in Dragonreach, which again, as I have said, seems quite far-fetched that it will help do anything against the World Eater. But I suppose if that's all I have, then that's all I have. Let's destroy a bit of the Stormcloak power first, though, before I do any sort of dragon trapping. If Jarl Balgruuf will even accept my idea. So, small quests first, then I finish working on the extra wings of my home, then furnish it after that. And finally, I will return to General Tullius and see what we can do about these Stormcloaks. We are looking for Roxel's sister. If you remember Roxel, she was part of the, what is that down there? Is that the Forsworn standing there? I think it is. Weird. And I seem to have missed her. Oh. What's wrong with me? Maybe that is Roxelle's sister. This is right in the spot. Alright. She was part of the band at, when we were at the New Nisus Corner Club in Windhelm in the Grey Quarter. She was not Dark Elf. She almost looked Imperial to me, but maybe she was Breton. Hello?
What are you doing? Go on, you monster! Kill me!
I came to find you.
Your trickery has no use. Who on Nirn knows to find me?
Your sister, Roxelle. She sent me to find you.
My sister? How do you know her name? What have you done to her?
What's wrong with you? She's fine. She has good friends and she plays music.
It is her. My baby sister and her stupid drum. She would hate me when I took it away from her, even though I loved her. I dreaded her. After what they did to her, I tried to fight them. Little did I know they have their ways. The old ways. They did something to her. It changed her. I could not see what she was anymore. But she was not one of us. So she ran. Like a coward. Our goal is far beyond some quarrel between two sisters. Soon, all of Skyrim will fall to their knees. As their new rulers, the Forsworns, arise. It is either our world or hers. Come, suffer your fate.
Something really wrong with you, woman. Give me a choice. Just crazy. Sheogorath
If only
really has
these people were
affected these,
open to some negotiation, you know? I was just thinking, the Reach would be a better place.
Well, I saw this Forsworn camp up there, which we've raided a few times, actually. And then I was wondering, is she Forsworn? Was she taken prisoner by the Forsworn? And, hey, princess. I mean, I like the female butt, but not from a horse. I don't appreciate you throwing your butt right in my face like that. Ugh. Don't do that again. Well, that seems to have been the end of it, then. All to kill a girl, in the end. Okay, so, I mean, the only other thing to do, we have to sleep. I'm tired. We didn't sleep last night. I have to bring Hrofdir's shield to Jarl Igmund in his keep. That's in, Markarth. And then we can take a horse. Well, we have to ride over to Markarth. Then we'll take the carriage all the way down to Lakeview Manor. And then I'll start working on it. But yeah, it's time to get some sleep at Rorgstead. I've asked him to play the Wolves of Jorvaskr. That has, more meaning than I thought when I first asked for it.
The wolf strode upon Great Jorvaskr to meet the sons
Is there something I can do for you?
No, thank you.
What are you but a harbinger to leave us hopeless and
Need something?
It just feels right somehow. Having this new life as an adventurer.
Ah, yes,
What I
Eric.
was meant to do.
and tore at its own hide. Drink the blood and become my sons, or by dawn
my fill of it.
never survive. And so the pack was born again as the wolves of Jorvaskr, to rule in life and serve in death as the moonlight bound under. And so the pack was born again as the wolves of Jorvaskr, to rule in life and serve in death as the moonlight's dark under.
Good job.
Yes?
Well, now I talked you into becoming what you are now.
Good to see you again. How would you like to hire a brave, if untested, mercenary?
Ah, you're young. You decided to become a mercenary after all, huh?
Seemed like the best way to see the world and make some coin. Sure, I'm a little green, but what I lack in experience, I make up for in courage.
Your voice reminds me of Sven. Eric the Slayer, huh? Sounds fearsome.
Father says I should pick a name that describes what I really am, but nobody's going to hire Eric Greenthumb or Eric Hoe Pusher.
Eric the Untested.
No, I need a name that will put some fear in the hearts of my enemies. When I have some enemies, that is.
Another time, perhaps. I don't need any more people. But I'm sure you'll find someone soon.
If you change your mind, seek me out here.
Right. Well, I don't know anybody else here.
Gods, it's cold.
It's summertime. I don't think it's that cold. Right, let's get some sleep. Oh, that is my favorite color of the aurora. The blue and purple. So beautiful. As my wife keeps saying, Narn truly is beautiful. Don't often... What's this?
Blood!
Vampires. This is why I don't like traveling at night.
That's the last of them.
The gods. So they have this writ on me. This is not the first time I've come across this. I picked it up. Writ? Oh, Assassin's Writ, not Vampire Writ. But that was a vampire. By the order of the Patriarch of Mouldering Ruins, you are to hunt down and slay the Dawnguard agent Torald Jensen. He is believed to be extremely dangerous, even for one of your formidable skill. Strike quickly, sister, then make your escape. Send all the assassins after me you want. They won't do anything. Especially when they're just limited to nighttime. Okay. Still trying to make our way to Markarth. Let's keep going. Oh, wow. There's so many guards here now. He must have hired on a lot of guards after that incident with all the Forsworn escaping. And I still haven't been able to find Madanak. It's not on my list. Let the city of Markarth, the Jarl here, fight his own war with Madanak. I think this is the right way, isn't it? But it's way too early. So I've decided to find a place to sit down so we can read. Or I can read. Understone Keep. Guards seem
Well,
especially prolific at night.
This castle definitely looks better than the one back on the island.
Well, there's places to sit here. Nice. I like how green it is in here. Okay, let's make it so I can actually see and turn pages without tearing them up. Backpack off is also nice. Well, okay, so I've briefly looked at the books. Now I know I have books, there's quite a few books to go through, but they're none of them that big of importance, I mean to say. At least, not for how I see it. But there is a book, Incident at Necrom. Now, I don't know if I've read it before. By Jonquilla Both. This situation simply is this, said Falkreath, his face as chiseled and resolute as any statue. Everyone knows that the cemetery west of the city is haunted by some malevolent beings, and has been for many years now. The people have come to accept it. They bury their dead by daylight, and are away before Master and Secunda have risen, and the evil comes forth. Oh, I have read this, I think, long time ago when I was a teenager. The only victims to fall prey to the devils within are the very stupid and the outsiders. It sounds like a natural solution to filtering out the undesirables then, laughed Nitra, a tall middle-aged woman with cold eyes and thin lips. Where is the gold in saving them? From the temple. They're reopening a new monastery near the cemetery, and they need the land cleansed of evil. They're offering a fortune, so I accepted the assignment with the caveat that I could assemble my own team to split the reward. That's why I've sought you each out. From what I've heard, you, Nitra, are the best bladesmen in Morrowind. Nitra smiled her unpleasant best, and you, Osmic, are a renowned burglar, though never once imprisoned. Lucky one. The bald-pated young man stammered as if to refute the charges before grinning back. I'll get you in where you need to go, but then it's up to you to do what you need to do. I'm no combatant. Anything Nitra and I can't handle, I'm sure Masitha will prove her mettle. Flaxith said, turning to the fourth member of the party. She comes on very good references as a sorceress of great power and skill. Masitha was the picture of innocence, round-faced and wide-eyed. Nitra and Osmic looked at her uncertainly, particularly watching her fearful expressions as Flaxith described the nature of the creatures haunting the cemetery. It was obvious she had never faced any adversary other than man and Mer before. If she survived, they thought to themselves, it would be very surprising. As the foursome trudged... Oh, isn't she illusion magic? That's her school, I think, if I remember right. As the foursome trudged towards the graveyard at dusk, they took the opportunity to quiz their new teammate. Vampires are filthy creatures, said Nitra. Disease-ridden, you know. Don't say that around my wife. Although it is true that they will spread their disease. I don't think that they're really... Well, they're vampires because of the disease. So maybe they are disease-ridden. You know, they say off to the west. They'll indiscriminately pass on their curse, together with a number of other afflictions. They don't do that here so much, but still, you don't want to leave their wounds untreated. I take it you know something of the spells of restoration if one gets us bit? If one of us gets bit? I know a little, but I'm no healer, said Masitha, meekly. More of a battle mage, asked Osmic. I can do a little damage if I'm really close, but I'm not very good at that either. I'm more of an illusionist, technically. See, I was right. I remember this story. Nitra and Osmic looked at one another with naked concern as they reached the gates of the graveyard. There were moving shadows, stray specters among the wreck and ruins, crumbled paths stacked on top of crumbled paths. It wasn't a maze of a place. It could have been any dilapidated graveyard, but even without looking at the tombstones, it did have one very noticeable feature. Filling the horizon was a mausoleum of a minor Cyrodiilic official from the Second Era, slightly exotic but still harmonizing with the Dunmar graves in a complementary style called Decay. Oh, this is from a story that is in Morrowind. Okay. And yes, the Empire had taken it over, I guess, in the first century of the Third Era? Or was it right at the very end of the Second? It's a surprisingly useful school, whispered Masitha defensively. You see, it's all concerned with Magicka's ability to alter the perception of objects without changing their physical compositions, removing sensual data, for example, to cast darkness or remove sound or smell from the air. It can help by... A red-haired vampire woman leapt out of the shadows and... I know what's that like... in front of them. Knocking Falkreath on his back, Nitra quickly unsheathed her sword, but Masitha was faster. With a wave of her hand, the creature stopped, frozen, her jaws scant inches from Falkreath's throat. Falkreath pulled out his own blade and finished her off. That's illusion? Asked Osmic. Certainly, smiled Masitha. Nothing's changed in the vampire's form except its ability to move. Like I said, it's a very useful school. The four climbed up over the paths to the front gateway to the crypt. Osmic snapped the lock and disassembled the poison trap. The sorceress cast a wave of light down the dust-choked corridors, banishing the shadows and drawing the inhabitants out. Almost immediately they were set on by a pair of vampires, howling and screaming in frenzy of bloodlust. The battle was joined, so no sooner were the first two vampires felled than their reinforcements attacked. They were mighty warriors of uncanny strength and endurance, but Masitha's paralysis spell and the weaponry of Falkreath and Nitra clove through their ranks. Even Osmic aided the battle. They're crazy, gasped Masitha, when the fight finally ended and she could catch her breath. Cora, the most savage of the vampire bloodlines, said Falkreath. We have to find and exterminate each and every one. Delving into the crypts, the group hounded out more of The creatures, though they varied in appearance, each seemed to rely on their strength and claws for attacking, and subtlety did not seem to be the style of any. When the entire mausoleum had been searched and every creature within destroyed, the four finally made their way to the surface. It was only an hour until sunrise. There was no frenzied scream or howl. Nothing rushed forward towards them. The final attack, when it happened, was so unlike the others that the questers were taken utterly by surprise. The ancient creature waited until the four were almost out to the cemetery, talking amiably, making plans for spending their share of the reward. He judged carefully who would be the greatest threat, and then launched himself at the sorceress. Had Falkreath not turned his attention back from the gate, she would have been ripped to shreds before she had a chance to scream. The vampire knocked Masitha across the stone, its claws raking across her back, but stopped its assault in order to block a blow from Falkreath's sword. It accomplished this maneuver in its own brutal way, by tearing the warrior's arm from its socket. Ugh. Osmic and Nitra set on it, but they found themselves in a losing battle. Only when Masitha had pulled herself back up from behind the pile of rocks, weak and bleeding, that the fight turned. She cast a magical ball of flame at the creature, which so enraged it that it turned back to her. Nitra saw her opening and took it, beheading the vampire with a stroke of her sword. So you do know some spells of destruction, like you said Nitra. And a few spells of healing, too, she said weakly. But I can't save Falkreath. The warrior died in the bloody dust before them. The three were quiet as they traveled across the dawn-lit countryside back toward Necrom. Masitha felt the throb of pain in her back intensify as they walked, and then a gradual numbness like ice spread through her body. I need to go to a healer and see if I've been diseased, she said as they reached the city. Meet us at the Moth and Fire tomorrow morning, said Nitra. We'll go to the temple and get our reward. And split it there. 3 hours later, Osmic and Nitra sat in their room at the tavern, happily counting and recounting the gold marks. Split 3 ways, it was a very comfortable sum. What if the healers can't do anything for Masitha? Smiled Osmic dreamily. Some diseases can be insidious. Did you hear something in the hall? Asked Nitra quickly, but when she looked, there was no one there. Would she have turned into a vampire so quickly? Just a few hours later? I can't see that happen. But then it is just a story, right? I mean, also, some vampires may have... their diseases could be different if they're different. Maybe you turn into a vampire quickly with these ones. She returned, shutting the door behind her. I'm sure Masitha will survive if she went straight to the healer, but we could leave tonight with the gold. Let's have one last drink to our poor sorceress, said Osmic, leading Nitra out of the room toward the stairs. Down. Nitra laughed. Those spells of illusion won't help her track us down, as useful as she keeps saying they are. Paralysis, light, silence, not so good when you don't know where to look. They closed the door behind them. Invisibility is another spell of illusion, said Mathisa's disembodied voice. The gold on the table rose in the air and vanished from sight as she slipped it into her purse. The door again opened and closed, and all was silent until Osmic and Nitra returned a few minutes later. She took all of it. See, that's greedy. I know that they were trying to stiff her of her reward. But I think it would have been more satisfying if she just took hers and left, although it wouldn't be such a good ending. But now, in her place, they might be looking for her, and I don't think she'll turn into a vampire. Anyways, those people are stupid. You don't turn into vampires so quickly. I wonder if I have another story. Lakeview Manor, Charo, last king of the Aylieds. I don't know if I've ever read this. Read this. Well, I think I have some time. Let's just read this last one by Herminia Cinna, Imperial. The Aylieds, or Heartland High Elves, ruled Cyrodiil in the long ages of myth before the beginning of recorded history. One of the earliest recorded dates, in fact, is the fall of White Gold Tower in First Era 243, which is commonly assumed to mark the end of the Aylieds. Oh, they lived on that far. I thought it was the 1st century that they fell, but I guess it went on to about the mid of the... Well, what would that be? 1st century would be 0 to 100. 2nd would be 100 to 200. 3rd would be 200 to 300, so third century, I should say, which is commonly assumed to mark the end of the Aylieds. Although Aylied rule over all of Cyrodiil was indeed broken in First Era 243, this was only one of the most obvious stages near the end of a long decline. The first 2 centuries of the First Era saw increasing strife between the great Aylied lords of Cyrodiil. Alessia appears to have taken advantage of a period of civil war to launch her uprising. Good timing. Imperial historians have traditionally attributed her victory to intervention from Skyrim, but it appears that she had at least as much help from rebel Aylied lords during the siege of the White Gold Tower. So I was taught from my auntie. Well, I don't think she could have won Cyrodiil without the Aylieds supporting her, even with Nord support. The popular image of the Aylieds as brutal slave masters is based in fact, of course, but it is less well known that a number of Aylied princes continued to rule parts of Cyrodiil after 243 as vassals of the new Empress of Cyrodiil. This suggests either that the Aylied rule was not universally detested or that Alessia and her successors were more pragmatic than is traditionally believed, or perhaps some of both. In any extent, excavations at a number of Aylied sites show continued occupation and even expansion during the so-called Late Aylied period, First Era, 243 to 498. Occupation, even expansion. At first, many Aylied lords continued to rule as vassals of the new human regime. In some cases, Aylied supporters of Alessia were even rewarded with new lands taken from slain enemies. It is not clear to what extent human slavery continued under the Cyrodiilic Empire. Humans continued to dwell in the Aylied-ruled areas of Cyrodiil, but there is nothing definitive to show under what terms. Maybe they were just no longer slaves. This was an uneasy relationship from the beginning and was not destined to last long. Resentment at the continued presence of Aylied nobles within the empire was a contributing factor to the rise of the so-called Alessian order founded by Maruk. The first victims of the Alessians were the Aylieds of Cyrodiil. In the early 300s, the surviving Aylied communities in human-ruled areas were obliterated, one by one, the refugees temporarily swelling the power of the remaining Aylied lordships. Then in 361, the Alessians gained control of the empire and enforced the Alessian doctrines throughout its domain. The Aylied lordships were abolished. The enforcement of this decree does not appear to have required much direct violence. It seems that by this point the balance of power was so overwhelmingly against them, and their fate so long foreshadowed, that most of the remaining Aylieds simply left Cyrodiil, eventually being absorbed into the elven populations of Valenwood and High Rock. Indeed, the rise of the Dareni hegemony may be linked to this exodus of Aylieds from Cyrodiil, a connection so far little studied by historians. Still, a remnant Aylied population seems to have survived the rule of the Alessians, because we hear of the last king of the Aylieds joining the Battle of Glenumbria Moors, where the Darenis decisively defeated the Alessians in 482. How this king's people survived the preceding century is unknown. We do not even know who they were, although recent research points to Nenalata as the possible resting place of this last king. Unfortunately, in the current state of the empire, funds are no longer available for proper scientific investigation of such extensive ruins, so the answer to these questions will have to be left to future generations. Well, I heard that the last one seen was in the Second Era. The last Aylied. I have asked about it, and just like the Falmer, or this should say Snow Elves, because Falmer means something else here these days, that there is no more of them in all of Skyrim. No more Snow Elves. And except for that one. Well, 2. We killed one of them. But it was a vampire one. Knight Protector Gelibor or something like that. Yeah. He still lives, as far as I know, unless he died after I left. In the Forgotten Vale. It goes into some mountains around here. Well, he's still alive, but he must be lonely living by himself. But I guess he has his oaths, and elves live for a long time. But, yeah, there's no more Aylieds to be found anywhere as far as I know in all of Cyrodiil. I've asked, and I've never seen one, and everyone said they're long gone. And the Second Era was the last time anyone had been seen. Absorbed. absorbed into the elves. Well, my map does not go throughout all of Tamriel, but to High Rock here, and past Cyrod out to the south into where the wood elves are. Valenwood. Right, well, I guess the only thing left to do is just to wait. We've got some hours till the Jarl comes down. Ah, good morning, my lord.
Madanak has been found to be the true murderer of Markarth. On behalf of the city, I apologize for your wrongful imprisonment.
At least you keep on saying it. I brought you Hrofdir's shield as you've asked.
You've honored my father's memory in more ways than I have words to say. I hereby grant you permission to purchase property in my city. Talk to my steward if you're interested. And take this, a gift from the Jarl's personal stores.
Thank you. Anything else you need?
There is room in my court for a new Thane. It's an honorary title mainly, but there are a few perks someone like you could make use of. However, I could only grant the title to someone who is known throughout my hold, and who owns at least one piece of property in my city. You help my people and purchase a house for my steward, and I'll make you my Thane.
I'll have to do that some other time, my lord.
As you wish. Divines watch over.
Alright, well, we've done what we came to Markarth for. Now, let's go take that carriage ride to my new home that I'm going to finish. Forsworn have attacked the city. I will volunteer.
My thanks. Follow me. My men and the other able fighters will be gathering outside the gate. Everyone, keep yourselves safe!
This might be tough. Forsworn, huh? Makes sense. That's what I figured it would be. This must happen a lot here. But I can't see them attacking the city directly too often. Killing the people in the outlying farmlands, I can see that. Oh, hey. That's that cook that I had to go speak to. Where are they? Don't kill the carriage driver, I'd be very upset.
Ready yourselves, lads and lasses! Ah! Here they come!
Is someone there?
Maybe you should go to safety.
Alright, let's do this.
Oops. I had to turn it away. Okay, I might die if I don't do something. My weapon's already poisoned. Oh yes, slow. Right, plentiful healing. That's the last of those. No, this is the ones I was making. Shock spell, huh?
The reach will be ours again!
Everyone would be ashamed of you. Prepare to die!
Oh, that went well. I'm actually used to people taking losses. Is there more?
Must have scared him off.
Hey. There's a Forsworn. You want to keep him prisoner? Well, are we done?
Where are you?
Hey, come on.
Enough! Must have scared him off.
Not very impressive.
Oh, this one refuses to die.
Get him! Kill him!
Right there.
I got them. Maybe it just took the Dragonborn to finish him off. Take that. No, I don't want to drink this. Eek. Forget it. It's where its heart is. It's disgusting, actually.
What are you doing that for?
Right, well, so... Who was the leader with the horn?
I just can't stop thinking about food. Decadent sweet rolls.
Hey, watch.
Pies.
Watch what you eat.
That was a good fight. The victory tastes sweetest when our enemies are as furious as strong. Here, your service is worthy of these gifts from the Jarl. Long live the Jarl!
Long live the Jarl. Usually the guard commander gets killed in these things, so... Well, thanks for all the mead and apples and well, some gold. But anyways, it's nice. Right, yes, food must be something great for you, and we get so much exercise that I'm not really worried. But still, you have to watch what you eat. Not everything is healthful and abundance. Moderation.
Need something?
Yes, let's go to my home.
Need a ride?
Yes, like your carriage.
Where do you want to go?
Okay, Falkreath.
Going straight through, or did you want to stop somewhere along the way?
Lakeview Manor.
Climb and back, and we'll be off.
Here we
Sun
go.
feels good, huh?
Yes, I love summertide.
Couldn't ask for better weather.
Here we are. Oh, we need to go get, what's her face? Jordis. Could use some more help out here. It's also getting late in the day. Magnus is going down in an hour or two, so we will need to get some sleep. I had an ominous nightmare. In my dream, I found myself in a dark forest, lit by the light of the blood moon. In the distance, I heard the howling of wolves and the faint screams of men. A horned figure beckoned me from a rocky outcropping, a pack of wolves at his feet. I recognized him as Hircine, father of man-beasts. In his hand was a chalice filled with the crimson liquid. I chose to flee. Well, it is a new day. We got back, she's watching me bathe. Maybe I should have closed the tent flap. Jordis, the Sword-Maiden. So, we have our house to work on. Lakeview Manor. And I'll leave the tent up as it is until we have a proper bed. We had some bandits. I don't remember killing these ones. I suppose I should eat. I think, what was her name? Reyna. I think she may have dealt with this one. It'd be nice if she pulled the body away. It's gonna start going rotten. Salmon steak. Good first thing in the morning. Let's get rid of this. Well, unless I put it several hundred feet away from my home, it's gonna smell. And I also don't want to attract predators. So let's just we'll move it further. This Pine Watch place, where the bandits were before, you can have another of your kind. Plus, I'm going to raid all of your food. Because you guys were bandits. And if there's any real person that used to live here, you killed them. Him or her. Or them. Maybe there was a family. Everything that they have is mine. And until some actual people move in here... Leak. More. Well, I don't want...
I know, my head's in the clouds again. Just forget I said anything.
I didn't catch what you were saying back there. I'm so used to, people in my party jammering away and just focus on other things. This one has it's a closed bottle of wine. Why not? Alright, and then we have this mudcrab pond. Is this one alive? White mud crab. Whitish. Ew, it smells. I think it's been there for a few days. gold. I must have missed this one. Yeah, and there's Nirnroot that grows there too. Although I would consider that actually a part of that Pine Watch. That is the name of it, right? Yeah, Pine Watch. But whenever I feel like it and I'm around, I will take whatever I want. Until, as I said, some real people... Oh, I can use this. We have no smelter here, though. I already have 10 iron ore. I have heard of people putting smelters in their homes, but... I mean, that... Well, it could heat up the home during the winter. But... Especially if you put it in the basement. I don't know, actually. What is the best way? I think I'm a little afraid of fire starting, though. I mean, that does... Smelters get really hot, right? So, forges too. So, I've offloaded everything... That must have been one of the horses. I've offloaded everything off Princess, and Princess is carrying light. Alright, so there's a few things I'd like to do to start. Remodel...
Maybe in a few seasons I could afford such a treasure.
I mean, our home. Remodel house into entryway. So we'll do that. So it will be part of the main home from now on. So it won't be a separate thing. And as for... There are other things. So... I mean, we have these three things. I have to choose one of each. East wing, north wing, and west wing. Right, well... This is going to take some work. So, let's start with the east wing. I will put in a kitchen, although I wouldn't mind a library. What's in the back? So the west wing would love a tower there, but we need bedrooms, right? I was going to put children's bedrooms there. West wing bedrooms. And to the north, alchemy laboratory? Well, it's got a tower, so I'm hoping I'll be able to see the lake from up there, right? So, let's go start with the kitchen.
Well, that's different.
It's been marked off. Right, so I should have the materials for this. We have enough lumber? Or maybe not. Kitchen doors. Lock. 2 lock, 4 hinge.
I heard those mages up in Winterhold have been trying.
Say 4 hinge.
Figure out how many dragons there are in Skyrim.
Lock. Oh, you need corundum for that. Corundum ingot. I thought hopefully I have some here. Can't carry too many. Should only need 1 lock. Thought this was enough. No, we need 2 locks. Okay, what are we missing now? Iron fittings. 2 iron fittings. I would think we need more than just 2. Probably be able to use that throughout the house. Work on the outside first, and then we'll work in. So, kitchen doors. From the outside going in. Okay, so we should have enough. Kitchen foundation. Right, let's get to work. This will take a while. Alright, it took some time. But we have the kitchen edition. I'm actually a little bit over encumbered. Let's see. Let's drink that wine. Is that enough? What about eating something? More meat? Good enough. Well, the kitchen is now done. Several stages took quite a while to do. I also put up a smelter. It's all very time consuming, and we did what we could with the available people around to help. Smelters right here. I don't think I have anything on me to smelt, but I have some... I think I dropped off this chest and the chest inside. See, there's corundum ore. Whatever we don't have here, there's ore here. Iron here. We'll leave that in case we need to make steel for some reason. I have a little bit of steel, not that much. Who knows what we'll need. Right, so that's done. What's the next part? So this is the north. The alchemy laboratory. Yeah. I really want the tower. We'll work on that now. Let's see. So it will be cordoned off as an addition right here. It is actually not... What's that? Hey, you two come
What can I do for you?
Are you friends? Hey. Do you have any packages for me?
Nope. Sorry. Nothing.
I'd like to change how packages are delivered.
We can deliver it wherever you need.
I want packages delivered to Lakeview Manor.
I'll make all the arrangements.
Yeah, why are you here? Rhea?
Good to see you.
She's here keeping the bandits and other riffraff away. Tell me about yourself, Rhea.
As you wish, my Thane.
How did a Redguard warrior like you come to be a housecarl in Falkreath?
I began by taking mercenary jobs in Markarth. There were always forsworn that pestered caravans and needed killing. But eventually, the shadows of my past, they had caught up with me. I left for Falkreath out of necessity, rather than by choice.
Shadows of your past?
It was a tragedy of my own making. I request your excuse. I would rather not talk about it at this moment.
All right. Were you a mercenary in Falkreath too?
For many years. By then, I'd been reputable enough that the Alakir sword was the nobles' first choice whenever they needed protection, or wanted something killed. When Jarl Sidgir took office, he saw my worth, and promised me enough gold to live like the Silverbloods. All I had to do was to guard his estate. I had been one of his housecarls ever since, until he assigned me to you.
Now you're kind of doing the same thing. His estate, you mean his longhouse?
Not precisely. I was guarding one of his manors, somewhere outside Falkreath City.
Oh.
A man like Sidgir has private assets all over the hold, and as the Akaviri saying goes, a sly hare has 3 holes to hide in.
Oh, okay. So, you exposed your Jarl's secret to me.
And why not? Sidgir made you Thane and venerated you in the court. He trusts you. Besides, it's been quite some time that I wanted to get it out.
All right. Does Sidgir have other housecarls besides you and Helvard?
If he does, I doubt he would let me know. Given Sidgir's often less than lawful means to acquire his wealth, revealing his housecarls would also expose his other assets. At least, I believe that's why he never let anyone know I was his housecarl.
No, that sort of makes sense. Let's talk about something else.
Of course.
I am looking for a steward. I don't know if she would be the best one. Maybe I'll offer that to Lydia. I didn't know that this was even here. It's like a little wolf den. Well, I guess they could use it as a den. Usually they would go in further into like a... Well, you brought this wolf back. Yeah, there were 3 wolves here. Been eating people. Jeez. By the gods. Well, I had a long conversation with my wife, Serena, and you would never believe what I've got her to agree to do now. She decided that she doesn't like the wild beasts that these horses are. And that conjuring her own horse... Thalmor! Thalmor! Finally saw them. But conjuring her own horse is better for her. Alright, we're going to kill ourselves some Thalmor. They're carrying a prisoner. Isn't that... Oh, that's not good. Up ahead, it looks like one of the companions. Hey, you guys are werewolves and I helped you through that. You alright?
Thank you, stranger. This is what I get for trying to please my audience.
What? What do you mean? What happened?
It may not be apparent by my present choice in attire, but I'm a bard, and I take requests. The other day, someone asked me to play Age of Oppression, and the next thing I know, I'm part of this unholy quartet. You've met the other 3 members of the band: ugly, angry, and
Focus.
dead.
Angry, other, and... Oh, okay. The Age of Oppression... And who, may I ask, is the 4th member?
That would be I, Dalen Oakhollow, of the old Bosmary tribe. Of course, the other members just refer to me as Traitor. But, if you'll employ me as your companion, I swear on the woodland gods that I will not live up to that name.
No. I don't need anybody else. Wait. A bard? Were you just taking a request, or do you have an opinion on the war?
Officially, I play what the patrons ask me to play. Unofficially, well, let's just say I'm not so good with the lyrics to certain songs. Aggression, oppression, who knows what these words really mean? Certainly not a poor, uneducated bard who only speaks in melody.
Okay. Does that mean, you support the Stormcloaks?
It means I dislike the Thalmor. Anything to annoy them is fine by me. People who worship Talos seem to be high on their list.
So why do you hate the Thalmor? You're Bosmer.
Same reason I hate vegetables. It's in the blood.
Well, what skills do you have?
I'm a jack of all trades, and a master of none. I'm good with a bow, but I can't say I'm great. I know a few spells, but I don't know enough. What I can provide is effort. Some will call it bravery, others will call it foolishness, but no one will ever say I didn't give you my all.
I'd like to make a request. Let's hear you sing.
That sounds like a splendid idea, but first we'll need to fetch my loot. And not the one the Thalmor confiscated. That was a shoddy replacement.
You lost your loot, huh?
Yes, I'm rather partial to it. Unfortunately, the harlot left me for another set of hands, which is another way of saying I gambled it away.
Oh. You're a gambling addict.
No. It's actually much, much worse. I'm a romantic. The gambling just comes with the territory.
I'm a romantic too, but I wouldn't be giving away my tools to survive. Why won't a regular loot suffice?
She's the only one that puts up with my fingers. Truth be told, I'm barely half a bard without her.
Why would you bet something so important to you?
Why indeed? In life, I find the biggest risks net the biggest rewards. Besides, I still have an ace up my sleeve.
Well, where's the loot now?
I lost it to a bandit chief in a game of Iron Hearts. Clever, right? When you gamble with bandits, you don't have to win your things back. You just find the nearest jarl and ask for the bounty.
Do you know where this bandit chief is hiding out?
That's the problem. Bandits are a nomadic lot. Although this one was an orc, so that should narrow our search. But rather than raid every bandit camp from here to High Rock, it's best to look in places where the mead flows and the people dance. Because if I know my loot, she always finds a merry home.
What? You're just going to take off now? Oh, if I find the loot, where do I find you? Hey.
It's fairly blasphemous for a Bosmer to chop wood. To that I say, don't ask for permission, ask for forgiveness.
Okay. Wait, follow me, I need your help.
As you wish, this life is yours to command.
I wouldn't take it that far. Right, Thalmor robe. They have a cloak. Here we go. Hooded Thalmor robes. Bastards had it coming. This should suffice. I mean, bring a Thalmor Justiciar's robes.
The trees are
That's wizard. This is Thalmor Justiciar. Robes? Like, these aren't...
The real problem is the spacing. Not even the birds can make that leap.
Thalmor Justiciar. I mean, how many cloaks can you have? Does one of these counts as a robe? I don't know. I mean, this is the full-on this would have been their leader. This is a Justiciar. I mean, so is this, but this is like one more of their soldiers, and this is one of their wizards. I'll just show... dump all these things on him here. One of these has to work, right? I don't know what I'm going to do with the bard, but you know what? I'm happy that you're riding a horse again, Serana. Even if it's a strange horse from the Soul Cairn. I have a horse like that too, don't I? Arvak, yes. Where's Arvak? Oh, this is how I summon him. It's been a while. Right, what? You know what? I was thinking that maybe we can get your loot and you can be like a bard for our place. Dalen's loot from Orc Bandit Chief. Doesn't seem to know where the Bandit Chief is, though. Like, having no idea is a little strange. Falkreath has, there's some bandit camps to the west. Is it here? Or here? No, he is saying it's in the Rift. Red water den vampires. Okay. By Sarethi Farm. We should see about getting a carriage at our place. Right, let's continue working on the house. That woman... I'm gonna have a talk with my daughters about her. That necromancer woman. Well, she said she wasn't a necromancer. She said she was a philosopher? Necromancer? I don't know. She wasn't actual necromancer is what she said. There's so many horses here. Okay, so I need clay. We've got a lot of this done today. Clay, we need clay. Oh yes, Arvak goes away after a while. Forgot about that. This outfit is not good for working in. I'm going to change it. Okay, back at it. And easier clothes to work with. Okay. Alchemy Laboratory, first floor walls. We'll work on this, and then the second floor walls. Okay, I'm getting a little dirty from all this work, but we did it. Took a while. Right, so all that's left is the bedrooms. Right, you know, there's more to the... I see her go up here. There's more to the property than just that area. Let's see what we have so far, and then we'll work on the bedrooms tomorrow. I have... Hello.
What can I do for you?
She cleans the house. This is where the bedrooms will go. Well, this is the alchemy tower.
Just you and me against the world now. Not that I'm complaining.
Well, there's 3 others, including Constance. Okay, I like this. Look at this view of the lake. It's not even... The best time would be the morning. I can see her down there with her. What is she doing? She got all those skeletons back. Right, I think this is perfect. What do you think of our alchemy laboratory?
It's a bit quaint, but there's definitely everything we need here. An alchemy table, storage, and some ingredients. Honestly, I can't wait to try out some new potion recipes in here.
Oh.
And hopefully I don't blow this place up.
Well, that is something to think of. You're a better alchemist than I am. What do you think of the kitchen?
It's way better than the kitchen back on the island, that's for sure.
It's not saying much.
I'm just joking with you. Well, maybe half joking. There's definitely room for improvement here.
What improvements?
The place here feels underutilized. While you do have some cupboards, a lot of condiments are just stuffed in sacks placed on the floor. You definitely have places to cook, but is there even a space to cut those ingredients?
There's still more to do. Much more to do. There are a lot of tables here.
Those are dining tables for eating, but I guess that's at least something we can work with.
You know what? I just want Lydia to be here to defend the house. To defend the girls. I was thinking of you from the start as a steward. Are you interested?
I'd be honored to be your steward. You've built a fine steading here.
I'd like you to make some improvements to the house.
Certainly. What did you have in mind?
We can get a ferry. There's enough horses outside right now. Let's get a carriage.
Very good. I'll see about hiring a carriage driver at once.
What about, building materials?
Of course. What are we running short of?
No, I can get just about everything. How about let's just go with lumber right now. We're not short, but it would be nice to have more.
I'll see to it at once. Is there anything else you need?
Well, I'm going to, I don't need any of these things.
Very good, sir.
Do you know where I can buy materials like glass or straw?
You might try Grey Pine Goods in Falkreath. They carry all sorts of things like that.
I was thinking that. But I'll put all the furnishings in the house here. Thank you. My steward. We have a bear. Hey!
Just remember, that was your decision.
Came at us right when we exited the house. Wow. Well, this is going to smell unless we carve it up. I've got enough food on me, though. Just get rid of this.
Food.
Right. Time to go to sleep. Alright, so let's get on. It's a new day. Let's get on with making the bedrooms. Starting with the doors. Well, here it is. Oh, this makes me happy. It's a place to... We can even come sit here. I don't need another tower. But the tower is obviously best if you want the view, but this is good. Surrender your horses down by the road. I left it there yesterday. A chair out here would be beautiful, wonderful. You could read out here. Well, it's not sunny at the moment, but the view of the lake. That's why they call it Lakeview Manor, I guess.
So, what do you want to talk about?
I love your singing. You're humming right now. Every moment we spent together is a piece of my favorite memory, my love.
By the blood. I'll remember this.
Well, as far as I'm concerned, the house is done from the outside. However, there is a cellar I would like to put in. And maybe down there I can do my forging. Keep the smelter outside. But then the forge requires a lot of heat as well. There's so many people here. It's turning into a little community. But, let's see. For a cellar, we're going to need a lot of quarried stone, which I think that we can work on now, and this will be the final addition to the home. But it's not from the outside, of course, but... Oh. I don't have enough stone. Kind of overburdened. Right. Overshot that. Alright, everybody out of the way. I got Daneland, Okalo, an outfit. It's the same light scaled light dragon scale armor I have, but it's not improved or enchanted. Okay, you're right in the way, Daneland. Just need a little bit. That's it. All this stone here, I could make my house out of stone if I wanted to. All this and nobody to tell me to stop shouting. It's my own home now. The cellar, I have enough for it. Let's create it, and then we'll work on decorating the inside of the home with furnishings. Well, I'm back with another health reason for the delay in videos in the past couple of weeks. Yep, seems to be my life. But I've narrowed it down to improper sleep, and the reason for that is I believe I have a magnesium deficiency, a bad one. I thought I had that covered with the 500 milligrams of magnesium oxide that I have been taking daily since some point in 2019, which along with CoQ10 and vitamin B2 has really helped cut down with the headaches, nausea, and migraines, but it never really helped with sleep, and poor sleep tends to bring on migraines for me, and I've had really bad sleep in the past month or so. So, I've had migraines daily, and in the past few weeks, just putting my headphones on to record gameplay instantly brought on a migraine, sort of making any videos for my channel really difficult. But I split this one up into a few sessions to finally complete. Having migraines totally zaps my ability to think, especially to be creative, and if I take medication for it, well then that's the day. So this is what I've been dealing with just to get this video out. On the other hand, I'm taking a better form of magnesium, along with natural ways to relax my body, and no, not melatonin, everyone's go-to for sleep in the last 10 or more years. A week of melatonin reduces or stops your body from producing it naturally, so that might help short-term, but long-term, no. Magnesium really does help relax your body naturally, and also it most likely is affecting me very negatively for having long-term deficiencies in a whole bunch of other health areas. I think magnesium is the root, and I've gone over it with Grok about all my health issues outside of my injured spine, and I think lack of magnesium is at the heart of it. That and a naturopath I saw back in 2018 zeroed in on magnesium deficiency being a serious issue for me. Nope, magnesium oxide has a 5% absorption rate, so if I'm taking 500 a day, that means I'm only getting 25 a day, and you're supposed to, as an adult male, have around 400, 450. So you need something with more absorption, such as magnesium bisglycinate, yeah, it's one word, which I'm now taking, but it takes a while for your body to fully integrate it. Thanks for watching. Take care.